All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me again today. Sorry it took me so long to make another video, but at this point, I was kind of just letting the dust settle, and a couple important things really came out for me that I wanted to jump back in and start covering for you guys as well. So, last time I was looking at this altcoin dominance. I wanted to show you um, why I was more bullish on altcoins for at least the short to midterm. Obviously, I was looking at this channel previously. You can see, it did break out of that channel. Obviously, with the Bitcoin pump yesterday, you saw it really dump back down. Once again, we're bouncing off this long-term trend line we've been in since 2014. So to me, once again, this presents another entry point for altcoins. Obviously, not financial advice, but I think that this thing could continue to run. I mean, from here on, you could see it come up and break into this 50% dominance, maybe even more for altcoins. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I just wanted to show you that real quick and see how the news is all tying in with this as well. So first off, we had, why are we on this? So, okay, this article came out 2 days ago, right, that lawmakers now in Congress are urging the Treasury to use blockchain and distributed ledger, right, to help streamline how cash is being distributed, right? What they want to do is boost liquidity in distributing funds. So, what's the issue here? Why do they want to do that? Well, obviously one of the main reasons is stimulus checks are being sent to dead people, or they're being rejected at banks. They've been working on this for 2 weeks now, and these checks are, who knows what's happening, but they're not getting delivered because we have an outdated system. That's the main narrative here. And who knows if it's intentional or not. To me, it seems almost intentional, because obviously this was going to fall flat on its face. The system's not designed to get money out instantly to everybody in the United States. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're using this as a reason, right, to convert the system. That could be deeper down a conspiracy theory hole, but whatever it is, your opinion, that's fine. To me, it looks pretty obvious that that's what they want to do, because at the end of the day, the wealthy elite, they know what's going on. They've known what's going on forever. They control the system, and we're just all part of it. Let's be honest. So really tying all that in together, once again, I have this video here for you. Last time, just earlier this month in February, Congress actually mentioned XRP, but when they did, they had to make sure to use the term distributed ledger technology. And you see this theme over and over with XRP. So, like I said right here, they want to boost liquidity and they want to use distributed ledger technology. Once again, here, let me play this little clip in this video for you to see as well.
We're going to crush that entrepreneurial spirit and that advancement. Obviously, you and I, we've heard of Bitcoin. We've heard of Ethereum. You familiar with XRP and the efforts of Ripple?
With the distributed ledger technology for their payments?
Yep.
Yes.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Distributed ledger technology with their payments.
Of Ethereum. You familiar with XRP and the efforts of Ripple?
With the distributed ledger technology for their payments?
Yep.
Yes.
And you're familiar with EOS?
So I'll go ahead and put all the different articles and links in the description later on if you want to review all this stuff. But, the point is they're referring to Ripple. Congress refers to Ripple as distributed ledger technology. They're saying that, now they're saying that the U.S. Treasury should use distributed ledger technology to help streamline the cash flow. Okay, so it's becoming more and more obvious, right? What do they want to do? All right, also tying that in together, throughout this year, just this year alone, there's 32 bills that have been proposed to Congress right now that have been proposed by Congress that are being reviewed for cryptocurrency and blockchain. So obviously this is a very important issue right now. Even though we have this whole pandemic and everything going on, they're continuously looking at different things for cryptocurrency and blockchain. All right, so as I mentioned before with the on-demand liquidity, right, for Ripple, this is like their main theme that they're saying, they want to provide international payments, especially in emerging markets. You have Congress over here calling for to boost liquidity and distributing funds, all right? And then, how do we benefit from all this, right? Why does this matter to me? Who knows, right? What all can we do except follow the money? And at the end of the day, it looks like the money is really with Ripple as well as Ethereum. And, that's kind of the point of this video for me, is to show you how that all ties together. As I mentioned, Ripple, they have 300 plus financial institutions they're citing, at least on their website. Rumor is it's up more so around the 700 area. They have American Express, close to 10% ownership in MoneyGram. PNC, Banco Santander, SBI, which is a big bank in Japan as well. And these are just the ones that they're putting out in front. There could definitely be a lot of other banks that have non-disclosure agreements that don't want to be listed in this stuff. So at the end of the day, obviously these people are already affiliated with Ripple. You also see the World Bank, right? The World Bank in 2017 wrote a 60-page document about distributed ledger and blockchain. In here in this document as well, on page 14, they cite Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Hyperledger, and Corda, right? We already know Corda and Ripple have ties together as well. But they're not citing your Neos or your EOSs or any other, shitcoin that you might want to be looking at. At the end of the day, let's make sure to look at what actually has potential, right? So, they're telling you right here, World Bank, right? What is the World Bank? So, right here you can see they're a financial institution with 189 member countries. They're predominantly meant to provide loans and grants to poorer countries. They're focused on poverty worldwide, different sustainable solutions. Once again, I think that also ties back into Ripple over here with their on-demand liquidity and focusing on emerging markets, right? So this is all tying together. World Bank is talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. And also another thing, next up to reiterate Ripple, you have Bank of America in the summer of 2019. They filed a patent. Demonstrating distributed ledger systems, and literally within their patent, they have a section where they cite, as you can see over here on the right side, Ripple DLT, which is Ripple Distributed Ledger Technology, as well as the Ripple Interledger Protocol being used right in this distributed ledger system that they would, use to, as their new blockchain that they're trying to create. So continuing to tie it all in together, right? Ripple and Ethereum. You can see here that Ripple is also trying to partner and build a relationship with Ethereum using their X-Spring that they have. They hosted, they were one of the main sponsors at the ETH Denver event earlier this year. And, on top of that, just earlier April this month, right, the Bank of France literally came out and said that Ethereum and XRP Ripple could power central bank digital currencies, right? The Bank of France is saying this. There's a reason here that they don't mention Bitcoin, right? Who knows what that reason is, right? But the focus seems to specifically be on Ethereum and Ripple over and over. And you continue to see all the big names and all the money, corporations, everything like that tied in with Ethereum and Ripple. So next up, just kind of tying that back in together as well. This is, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but I just want to make sure that, people don't forget, right? This page exists, right? The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. You can come down and see all the different members associated with this alliance. The list goes on and on. But, I'll put the link in the description and you can check it out later on. Just to cite the main ones, right? You have Accenture in here, which is also an investor in Ripple. You have BNY Mellon, Intel, JP Morgan, Microsoft, and then Banco Santander again, which is also a customer of Ripple. So, it's like Ethereum and XRP, they continuously tie together one way or another, and it's with following the money. All the main companies that exist. So I just wanted to kind of put this all together for you. As you can see, you have all your different cryptocurrencies, whatever their use cases might be, anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's pretty obvious what ones you should focus on, right? It should be the Ethereum and XRP. They're right out in front of us. They are associated with all the big corporations, different governments, being mentioned by Congress. They're not saying the names directly, but there's no other technology built right now that would be the names that they're citing with this distributed ledger and all this. They're not going to come out and say it directly, but at the end of the day, this is what they mean. And just so you know as well, I wanted you guys to know that I did used to work at Charles Schwab, so I got to see on the inside how these systems work. Kind of got a good understanding. Right now, the current system that Ripple is kind of targeting as to replace them is called SWIFT, and this is basically your payment messenger for all the main banks around the world right now. This is how they send money back and forth with each other. But what's required in that situation a lot of the times is pre-loading accounts, and it causes backlog and inventory of currencies that might have fluctuations in value and everything like that. And Ripple's goal is to just make that go away completely, right? We can just send money from A to B instantly at basically free of charge, right? And that's what Ripple is capable of doing. So that's what SWIFT is, the system Ripple's targeting as well. The DTCC. This is like a clearinghouse right now for stocks, equities, as you can see right here. One of the main services used at Charles Schwab is like the ACAT system, and that's between all institutions, Fidelity, Schwab, everything like that. That's so that whenever a transfer is made from equities, like if you wanted to move your funds from Schwab to Fidelity, you would use that ACAT system. So it would be transferred. But that takes, roughly 5 to 7 days. Whereas if you had a tokenized Ethereum equity, the same exact thing, you could just send it over in, 15 or so minutes, and it would be, from A to B, on to the next exchange. So these are just a few systems that exist currently with SWIFT and DTCC. But these are the systems that are being replaced. They're just outdated. As you see, Trump mentioned as well, that he inherited a 40-year-old system. This is what he's talking about, right? This broken financial system that we have now, and he's not lying. This is what we are in now, and we do need to rebuild it. As far as the pandemic being a cover-up or something like that, who knows? Who knows what's actually happening? But to me, it kind of seems that way. But at the end of the day, this system can be rebuilt. So tying all of that back into the altcoin dominance, this is what I was talking about. Bitcoin has had this dominance forever, since basically since it started crashing in 2018. I think it's going to give up ground, and the reason I think it's going to give up ground is because all the different articles and points that I just covered with you. So who knows where to put your money? But I think it's safe to say that if you're focusing on the top main projects that every single person, Congress, World Bank, Bank of America, the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, like all these different companies are tied to Ethereum and XRP. So I don't think you really have to think too hard about this one. But like I said, how do we get in front of this dominance? I think it's going to be in the top projects, and I think that run is going to come later into 2020. Probably by the end of this year, you'll see that dominance give up a lot, I would guess. But alright, I thank you for watching this video, and leave some suggestions in the comments, things I could change, or different ideas you might want to see in the next video, and I'll try and put something together for you. Alright, thanks.